Sensex rises 105.71 points, Nifty closes above 24,400 in volatile trade after India's strikes in Pakistan. Nifty 50, Sensex today, Stock Market Live Indian benchmark indices, the BSE Sensex and Nifty 50, on Wednesday managed to close in green after a volatile session following India's retaliatory strikes on 9 targets in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The BSE Sensex on Wednesday jumped by 105.71 points or 0.13 to close at 80,746.78, while the NSE Nifty rose 34.80 points or 0.14 to settle above 24,400 to 24,414.4. Among Sensex constituents, Tata Motors, Bajaj Finance, Eternal, Adani Ports and Titan were the top gainers, rising by up to 5.2%. However, among the laggards were Asian Paints, Sun Pharma, ITC, Nestle India and Reliance falling up to 4%. In the broader markets, the BSE Midcap Index was up 1.36%, while the BSE Small Cap was down 1.16%. Market View. VK Vijayakumar, Chief Investment Strategist, Geojit Investments. What stands out in Operation Sindoor from the market perspective is its focused and non-escalatory nature. We have to wait and watch how the enemy reacts to this precision strikes by India. The market is unlikely to be impacted by the retaliatory strike by India since that was known and discounted by the market. The main catalyst of the market resilience in India is the sustained FII buying of the last 14 trading days, which has touched a cumulative figure of Rs 43,940 crores in the cash market. FIIs are focused on the global macros like weak dollar, slower growth in US and China in 2025 and India's potential outperformance in growth. This can keep the market resilient. However, investors have to watch the developments in the border. The big shift in market preference in favor of large caps away from overvalued segments of mid and small caps is significant. FIIs, as always, are mainly buying large caps. This trend can continue. Foreign institutional investors' FIIs bought equities worth Rs 3,795 crore on Tuesday, according to exchange data. Global oil benchmark Brent crude rose 0.87% to $62.69 a barrel. US markets closed in the red on Tuesday. The Dow Jones fell by 0.95%, SP was down by 0.77% and the Nasdaq slipped 0.87%. The BSE Sensex on Wednesday jumped by 105.71 points or 0.13 to close at 80,746.78, while the NSE Nifty rose 34.80 points or 0.14 to settle above 24,400 to 24,414.4. APL Apollo on Wednesday reported a 72% jump. Indiana its net profit to Rs 293 crore. Compared with Rs 170.4 crore recorded last year. Punjab National Bank on Wednesday reported a 52% jump. Indiana its net profit to Rs 4,567 crore. According to a BSE filing, the state-owned lender has also declared a dividend of Rs 2.90 per share for the financial year 2024-25. Punjab National Bank on Wednesday reported a 52% jump. Indiana its net profit to Rs 4,567 crore, according to a BSE filing. The state-owned lender has also declared a dividend of Rs 2.90 per share for the financial year 2024-25. Shares of Angel One gained 3% in trade, logging an intraday high at Rs 2,366.45 per share on BSE. The up move in the stock came after the company posted its business update for April. Angel One's client base increased 37% year-on-year to 31.48 million as compared to 22.99 million. Its average client funding book also rose 86.7% to Rs 3,912 crore in April as compared to Rs 2,096 crore a year ago. At 1 p.m., the BSE Sensex was higher by 9 points, or 0.01%, at 80,631, and the NIFTY 50 was at 24,384, up by 7.3 points or 0.03%. Flights are affected in Jammu, Srinagar, Leh, Jodhpur, Amritsar, Bajaj, Jamnagar, Dharamshala, Chandigarh and Rajkot. Passengers need to check flight status before reaching airport. Tata Motors shares surged 4.2 in early trade, hitting an intraday high of Rs 675.45 on the BSE, following shareholder approval to split its passenger and commercial vehicle businesses into separate listed entities. Investor sentiment was also boosted by the recently announced UK-India Free Trade Agreement, which includes a 90% reduction in tariffs on British goods such as automobiles, a move expected to benefit Tata Motors' UK-based subsidiary, Jaguar Land Rover JLR. As of 11:07 a.m. IST, Tata Motors shares were trading at Rs 669.65, up 3.37, outperforming the broader market. In contrast, the BSE Sensex was down 0.10 at 80,556.67. Indian benchmark equity indices BSE Sensex and Nifty 50 were trading lower on Wednesday, after India's strike on terror camps in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. At 12 p.m., the BSE Sensex was lower by 99.74 points, or 0.12%, at 80,541.33, and the Nifty 50 was at 24,355.95, lower by 23.65 points or 0.10 per cent. BSE Limited's shares experienced a significant climb of nearly 10% on Wednesday, buoyed by the company's report of a substantial increase in net profit for the fourth quarter of the preceding fiscal year. Paytm's 197 Communications shares zoomed 7% intraday on Wednesday after Vijay Shankar Sharma fintech narrowed down net loss Rs 545 crore in Q4 FY25, though revenue fell 15.7% YoY. The scrip traded at Rs 873.90 apiece, with a gain of 7.25% around 10:50 am. It earlier opened at Rs 808 apiece, against the previous day close at Rs 814.85 apiece. Pakistan stock market witnessed a sharp decline on Wednesday, May 7, as investors reacted to India's overnight airstrikes. Pakistan's benchmark share index dropped 5.78 at the open on Wednesday, following Indian military strikes on multiple sites across the country. K Industries reported strong earnings for the March 2025 quarter, with net profit rising 34.4% year-on-year to 227 crore, driven by solid revenue growth across its cable and wire portfolio. 11 out of the 30 stocks on the BSE Sensex were trading higher, with Tata Motors, Power Grid Corp, Titan, Bajaj Finance and SBI trading higher, and Asian Paint, Inducent Bank, Sun Pharma, Nestle India and TCS losing the most. Indian benchmark indices traded flat as the Ministry of External Affairs and the Ministry of Defence addressed the media regarding Operation Sindoor. The Nifty 50 was down 0.15%, while the BSE Sensex was lower by 0.08% as of 1054 am. An Indian government spokesperson blamed Pakistan and terrorist groups based there for the dastardly terrorist attack on tourists at Pahalgam, Jammu Kashmir. The spokesperson said the attacks were carried out to disrupt the region's fledgling tourism economy and foment communal tensions in the country, which failed in generating such reactions. Elevated India-Pakistan tensions, stemming from India's retaliatory action after the Pahalgam terror strike in Kashmir, are expected to fuel significant volatility in Indian stock markets in the short term. Early Wednesday morning, Indian armed forces executed a series of strikes, codenamed Operation Sindoor, targeting terror infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir (Pak). The Indian Army promptly announced, "Justice is served," following the reported targeting of 9 sites. Following the release of its Q4 results, shares of ONE97 Communications, the company behind Paytm, experienced a significant surge of 6.2% in trading on the BSE, reaching an intraday high of Rs 866.15 per share. At 9:48 am, Paytm stock was trading at Rs 864.4 per share on the BSE, marking a 6.02% increase. This performance contrasted with the broader market, where the BSE Sensex was up by a modest 0.08% at 80,703.22. Paytm's market capitalization stood at Rs 55,135.36 crore. The stock's 5-2-week range was between a high of Rs 1,063 per share and a low of Rs 310 per share. Indian benchmark indices, the BSE Sensex and Nifty 50, traded flat on Wednesday as market sentiment remained cautious following India's retaliatory strikes on 9 targets in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. At 10 am, the BSE Sensex was lower by 71.49 points, or 0.09%, at 80,569.58. And the Nifty 50 was at 24,368.40, lower by 11.20 points or 0.05 per cent. We had lowered our upside target yesterday, in light of the distribution signals and loss in upside momentum. While yesterday's slippage was held near 24,400350 region, our downside marker, only 23.8% of Nifty 500 stocks are now above their 10 days SMAs, pointing to a turn in trend in the broader market, exposing 23,67023,460 on the Nifty. In the event of a sharp crackdown, we expect 24,05023,930 to provide a window for Nifty to consolidate. Alternatively, if DIPs do not extend past 24,280, expect a quick recovery swing higher. Views by Anand James, Chief Market Strategist, Geojit Investments Limited. Heightened border tensions following India's retaliatory precision strikes against Pakistan after last month's Kashmir terror attack led to a weak opening for the Indian currency on Wednesday. Bloomberg data indicated that the rupee began trading 31 paise lower at 84.66 against the US dollar, compared to its Tuesday closing of 84.44. Early Wednesday, Indian armed forces conducted a series of strikes targeting terror infrastructure within Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir (Pak), with a total of 9 sites reportedly hit. Defense stocks are under the spotlight today, May 7, amidst the heightened tensions between India and Pakistan. Under the Operation Sindoor, India targeted terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir (Pak) on May 7. It was a retaliatory measures against the terrorist attacks on Indian tourists in Pahalgam, Kashmir, in which 26 lives were lost. India-Pakistan tension. With the rising geopolitical tensions between India and Pakistan after the launch of Operation Sindoor, will it trigger a major stock market fall in the broader markets? BSE Midcap Index was up 0.44% at opening while BSE Small Cap was down 0.04%. What stands out in Operation Sindoor from the market perspective is its focused and non-escalatory nature. We have to wait and watch how the enemy reacts to this precision strikes by India. The market is unlikely to be impacted by the retaliatory strike by India since that was known and discounted by the market. The main catalyst of the market resilience in India is the sustained FII buying of the last 14 trading days, which has touched a cumulative figure of Rs 43,940 crores in the cash market. FIIs are focused on the global macros like weak dollar, slower growth in US and China in 2025 and India's potential outperformance in growth. This can keep the market resilient. However, investors have to watch the developments in the border. The big shift in market preference in favor of large caps away from overvalued segments of mid and small caps is significant. FIIs, as always, are mainly buying large caps. This trend can continue. In a major escalation, India's Army, Navy, and Air Force launched joint precision strikes on 9 terror hubs in Pakistan and Pak at 144th, first such move since the 1971 war following the Pahalgam terror attack that killed 26 civilians. Pakistan has vowed retaliation, terming it an act of war. Markets now hinge on 3 catalysts: further military action, global tariff progress, and the US Fed's policy decision on May 7. Nifty remains volatile with key support at 24,171. Prashanth Taps, Senior VP Research, Meta Equities Limited State-run Bank of Baroda posted subdued results for the March quarter on Tuesday, with net profit increasing by 3.3 and its net interest margin NIM narrowing by roughly 40 basis points primarily due to higher deposit costs. Investors will closely monitor the outcome of the U.S. Federal Reserve's rate decision on May 7. Although the central bank is widely expected to maintain interest rates at current levels, Fed Chair Jerome Powell's commentary on inflation and economic growth, especially amid tariff-related uncertainties, could influence short-term market direction. The fourth quarter earnings season is gaining pace, with 49 companies scheduled to release their quarterly results on Wednesday. Notable names to watch include Coal India, Dabur, MRF, and HUDCO. Indian Army will brief the media and inform the nation on Operation Sindoor. The domestic market has been moving sideways in recent sessions after a strong rebound, as investor sentiment remains cautious amid ongoing India-Pakistan border tensions. In today's session, stocks such as Coal India, Dabur, BSE, Paytm, and Prestige Estates are expected to be in the spotlight due to recent news and their fourth quarter earnings announcements. US President Donald Trump on Tuesday reacted to the precision strikes carried out by Indian armed forces on terror infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, saying he hopes the escalation ends very quickly. It's a shame. We just heard about it as we were walking in the doors of the Oval. I guess people knew something was going to happen based on a little bit of the past. They've been fighting for a long time. They've been fighting for many decades and centuries, if you think about it. I hope it ends very quickly, he said. Equity futures pointed to gains in Hong Kong, with small declines in Tokyo and Sydney. Latest blogs.